Ever since the show left me with two unsatisfactory endings, I've long awaited a proper successor to Jack Bauer's missions on TV in 24, as its mix of real-time storytelling and high-stakes plots made for some of the most engaging television in history. While Kiefer Sutherland himself had some solid follow-ups to the show, particularly Designated Survivor, the proper successor seems to finally have come with the Jensen Ackles-led Countdown on Prime Video, even if it has some problems. Created by One Chicago co-creator Derek Haas, Countdown is set in Los Angeles and revolves around a group of workers from the LAPD, FBI, DEA, and Secret Service who are enlisted for a covert task force to help investigate the sudden murder of a Homeland Security officer. Over the course of their investigation, the group finds themselves having to adjust to each other's varying work styles, while also discovering a bigger threat at play as a terrorist is planning a destructive attack threatening millions. While Haas has plenty of experience in the world of crime action storytelling with both the One Chicago franchise and FBI International, one thing that helps Countdown stand apart from his prior works is the show's serialized approach to its story. Rather than having a loose, overarching threat broken up by case-of-the-week mysteries, every episode of the show nicely builds upon the previous one's new leads and character moments. The most welcome surprise from Countdown's plot is certainly its sense of stakes, as it establishes right from its premiere that no character is truly safe in the story. As the season continues, certain characters who feel on the verge of a personal breakthrough or primed to get an episode chronicling more of their backstories instead find themselves on the receiving end of a deadly bullet or grand explosion. Though this can hinder some of the show's attempts at character development, it did give me fond memories of 24's most unpredictable moments. However, I found myself somewhat mixed on Countdown's 13-episode run, particularly since I was only given the first 10 episodes for review. Without having seen the final 3 episodes of the show, it's hard to entirely say whether it concludes on a solid note. What's frustrating about it is that episode 10 feels like a solid enough season finale and set up for a new threat in a potential season 2. So, I'm now left wondering if it was necessary to continue the season for 3 more episodes. Beyond the uncertain ending, the biggest issue with Countdown's plot is that it plays out mostly straightforwardly. Apparent plans to capture the main antagonist early are clearly red herrings that will lead to his escape and pad out the runtime rather than add a sense of suspense, while the task force's investigation as a whole often left me feeling a desire for them to get to the clue that would give them their next big break, or to focus on fleshing out its characters. Even still, that's not always the worst thing, as Haas, who wrote all 13 episodes of Countdown, makes use of the show's real estate for some exciting set pieces. In particular, a sequence in which the task force, while working undercover, must try and smuggle a delivery truck across the Mexican border without utilizing official channels to avoid raising suspicions with their LA gang leader, Contact, is such an effectively tense one thanks to its direction and acting. Even while the show keeps its pacing largely focused on its explosive central threat, Countdown was most intriguing when it focused on its character drama. Whether it's Jensen Ackles' Meacham struggling with the increasingly troublesome symptoms of a terminal illness, Jessica Camacho's Alvarez in the throes of readjusting to the normal world after a deep undercover stint, including a drug habit she acquired during said time, or Elliot Knight's Bell trying to get out from under his father's shadow to forge his own law enforcement legacy, there are some meaningful moments for its ensemble. That said, there are a few Countdown characters who don't get the same fleshed-out treatment as others. It seems like Eric Danes Blythe has something going on with him outside the job, though we get no insight into his personal life until near the end of the season, while Violette Beans Shepard is alluded to having a darker backstory. But from what we see, it doesn't get the same confrontation as the rest of the cast. One of the biggest examples of a Countdown character literally brimming with a lot of emotional material left unmined is that of Jonathan Togo's Drew. From the season's premiere,